What's going on, people? Got some boxes of shoes over here, the same ones from the thumbnail. Funny how that works, huh? And you might be noticing I'm a little extra dressed up. That's because I haven't changed from work, which is really just me taking off this fancy shirt here. But, I was out seeing Boy Kills World today, right? So figured, yeah, this makes sense, right? A little Street Fighter, a little Mortal Kombat. So either way, let's go see what's in this box because that's something that's mildly important, at least to me, maybe not so much to you. But I gotta check things out, make sure everything's on the up and up, make sure Saucony didn't send me something that's all damaged, which they actually did. What do you know? Funny how that works out. And that's what happens when they send stuff in a bag, which is like just like the worst way to send stuff, right? I don't know why they do that. They make some pretty good things. They make some good decisions with like the shoes they make, but they are making some bad decisions with how they ship said shoes. Either way, got a big old chunk down there in the bottom. Crazy, right? Yeah, that's what I said. But let's go ahead and open this up after we show you this side of it. That side is a little more in line with something mildly useful, I suppose. Mr. Lee, how's it going? Hopefully things are going well wherever you are. And these right here, let's go ahead and get these out. What is this, a Progrid 9 or something like that? Progrid Omni 9. I was so close, so close. This actually matches up very well with the shirt. Crazy how that works. But let's go ahead, see what's going on with them, make sure things look like they're supposed to, as in not damaged like the box was. Because the box does at least kind of protect the shoe, so you have that. But for those of us who keep our shoes in the boxes and keep these boxes stacked up with several other boxes, you like to have the boxes intact because, structural integrity or whatever. But moving on past that, let's go ahead and knock this thing out, huh? So, as I was saying, this right here, it is the Saucony Progrid Omni 9. I had to read that off the box because I could not quite remember. Down there on the bottom looks like your pretty standard stuff, right? Nothing you probably haven't seen before. Up on the midsole and all that good stuff. Looks pretty decent up there. I really like the way they did this whole thing. Speaking of which, let's get you some more shots of that upper piece, right? Yeah. A lot of mesh going on in here, so it should be super breathable. I need to get some of those. I'm going to pretend that you type that a little better and say, yeah, you should. So moving back to what we were talking about here. So yeah, a lot of mesh going on, right? Looks very cool. Feels really nice too, so that's always a plus. And then you got a little bit of suede going on with these here brown pieces. Hopefully that's kind of focusing and whatnot. So there you go. It's kind of a fall color sort of deal in some ways, I guess, but whatever. And then down there on the inside, that's pretty much what's happening, right? Now, how these came to be, I'll give you that while I slip these on so I can tell you how they fit. I got an email from Lapstone and Hammer the other day, and they're all like, hey, you should buy these shoes. And I was like, oh, you are correct. I should buy those shoes because those look fantastic. But me being me, I was like, I'm going to wait for a sale and see how that whole thing goes. True to size, by the way. So I was going to wait for a sale, right? But then I went and I checked the old Saucony page because they had like some discounts and stuff going on that I could use. And I was like, hey, can I use that on these? And they're like, here you go. And I was like, let's do that. And some number of business days later, they showed up. These fit actually like really nice. So I'm pretty glad about that. And so that's why I have them now rather than waiting for like some other price drop, right? So moral of that story, don't pay full price for things that are just kind of like your generic right off the shelf things that anybody can get from most places. It's a little ridiculous a lot of the time, right? Now, I'm not saying I'm looking down on them as a shoe or whatever. I feel like I'm going to be into this when I start wearing it. But again, the reason I can buy as many things as I do is because I have that cheap side that looks for the deals, right? It's not just full price every time, right? Especially not when you're buying Mondo Battle Cats, but more on that later. So let's go ahead. We'll set this box over here to the side. I'm going to read some comments or something in the chat real quick and find this knife. And Chilltown, what is going on? Chilltown, like if you guys have never been over to his channel before, you are missing out. It makes me wonder what you're doing with your life because there's a lot of entertainment going on over there. And in case you're wondering, oh man, have I missed out? I mean, not exactly because the stuff is still there. You can still watch it right now, right? I mean, or you can also watch SmackDown too. But moral of that story, check out Chilltown. He's doing some good stuff over there. Even just gave away a bunch of free stuff, right? Well, kind of free. Like, there's like a raffling sort of system. But what you get for what you give is like, you definitely come out on top. So that was very cool of it. It makes me think I should do one of those giveaway things at some point. It's been a long while, I think. Okay, so there is so much noise going on with this box here. It's a very intricate design. See that? We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm just stalling for time. I'll just ramble on a little bit and try to get through this thing. You know, it's one of those things you got to do. Got to work on your verbal pacing when you're going to be doing stuff like this, because every now and then you need to take a little extra time to get to what you're doing, and you can't just leave dead silence. This right here, there's the top. Dazed and Confused, right? Now, I have not seen this movie. I'm going to put that out there right now. But Killama, the same time he told me about, I feel like they were just here. The PlayStation shoes. Where did those go? I was close. They're right over here. He told me about the PlayStation shoes and the Dazed and Confused shoes, both from Puma. And I was like, well, that seems kind of cool, right? Let's go ahead and check that out. If I can get them for a deal. And you know what? I did, because, again, Puma, they're also super welcoming of the whole discount code thing, right? So if you find one floating around on the internet and you just plug that bad boy in, you're probably going to be smooth sailing from then on and get you something for a little bit under retail. Now, I know these sold out in some sizes, at least straight from Puma, but I think they still have some. And from what I remember seeing, they were also on Urban Outfitters and some other places. It was one of those 420 releases. Anyways, getting back down there on the side of the box, got some stuff over there, typical stuff over here, and just a little bit of nothing going on the back end, right? So let's go ahead and pop this top off, see what we're looking at here. Got a little bit of extra laces going on, so that's often a good deal, right? Some kind of light bluish sort of colors. Yeah, that's kind of focused, I suppose. Push those back down in there. We don't need them anymore. Let's go ahead and open up and open up and open up. Lots of layers going on over here. Thank you. Love the unboxings. Hey, no problem. I like to do these here because, well, I like doing them as actual videos too, but it makes the videos a little bit longer, right? So, and if I do them now, this gives me extra time to see how I really feel about it. So when I do the actual review, I can just go right into it, because that's one of the trickier things sometimes, is like you're unboxing something. You've never seen it, but you got to like remember the camera's still rolling, so you got to fire through the review as if you know what you're talking about, right? Which I don't always. So again, it's one of those things. It comes with time and practice, I suppose. So looking at this, right? This is what we're up against. I should probably take out both of these in case one is different than the other. I think they're both the same. I don't think it's one of those things where they switched it up at all. So yeah, these are both the same. All right, that makes that easy. Set this down over here then. So, like I was saying, going to talk about this. So, what model is this? It's going to be just your standard Puma Suede, right? It just looks a little bit different because it's got some other stuff going on up here. But on the bottom, you got the same thing you would normally expect, right? Even the PlayStations want to have that. It's just that those had a little bit of a clear thing going on so you could see the little buttons and stuff, right? So, but then as you move back up here, I'm somewhat used to seeing this gum bottom on a lot of the Puma things. Not all of them. Some of them are just like plain white or something like that on the midsole anyway. But whatever, you get it. It's not new. Down there on the toe box area, right? Not sure exactly what that is. It kind of feels like that fake leathery type material you see on like cheaper Air Max 90s and stuff of that nature, right? With some little etched in stuff going on. And that is going to line up with what you see on the side panels there, right? And of course, what would a Puma Suede be without this little Puma Suede styling on there, right? Well, it'd probably be one of those PlayStation shoes because the white one had leather, right? But you know what I'm getting at. So either way, that's going on there. And as we switch over to the back, you got a little happy face. Does this one also have a happy face? Nope. There's the difference right there. This other one has the Puma. Figured there had to be something different, right? There's always something. And then the upper piece, well, of the tongue anyways. Let's get this strap out of the way. I'll tell you right now, not a huge fan of straps on things, but it is what it is. Just need to get this pulled down just a wee bit. So down in there, you can kind of see that. What is that? Oh, okay. So there you go. That's what's going on in there. Got the Puma logo and all that stuff. It's not quite focused, but it will be in the actual video. So, just take my word for it. It looks pretty decent. Then a big old thick strap to match these big old thick laces. Now that isn't going to be for everybody, but like I said, they do come with some other laces that look to be normal sized. So you do have that option, but it's a nice blue. I'll give them at least that much. Now let's go ahead and see what's going on the interior. Which, and also, by the way, I didn't mention it when I did my last Puma thing because I kind of forgot, but those ended up fitting, the PlayStation ones, they ended up fitting pretty much true to size. They felt a little bit roomy, but I also have some thin socks on right now, or when I was wearing them. So that's kind of to be expected. But I think true to size would be fine for most people. And one thing I just noticed in here as I was trying to get these things opened up and whatnot, you do have the little pocket thing. Let's get these laces out of the way. You do have the little pocket thing going on back down there. See that right here behind the tongue? Because the laces were actually tucked in there. So there's that. And as far as the interior goes, the interior is looking the same on both of these, so I only need to show you the one. This is a cool design, and it looks like it's going to come right out if I can get my fingers down in here. What? And now it wants to be all difficult, which is not great, but whatever. You're probably just going to have to wait for the actual review, or not. There we go. So there's that. That's what that's looking like. Pull it back a little bit. See, that's the overall design. It's just, I don't think this can be like right side up or anything. I think it's just like a picture of sorts, right? Like I said, I've never seen the movie, so does this go with anything in the movie? I honestly don't know. And then under that, it's just like walking around in a pair of, what was that thing? The Aniki Runner. Anybody remember the Aniki Runner? I was a huge fan myself, but those didn't have insoles, and that's kind of how those were, right? What was it? The NMD was also in a way that similar, but I actually liked the Aniki Runner. The NMD was not my favorite shoe. I'll say that. Spoke down on it a lot. I do own a few, but much like the Air Max 270, I don't care for it, but they get a lot of cool colors. So there we go. And that is that, people. We have done it. We've gone through both shoes, which didn't take super long because it's only 2 pairs of shoes. So we'll do a quick little recap of sorts, and then I'm going to move on with my evening, talk about the boy who kills world thing. I saw that movie today. Watch a little SmackDown, probably eat something because it's been a while since lunchtime, and I'm kind of feeling like I need to do that. But first, again, wrapping this thing up. In the meantime, if you have anything that you want to ask me or whatever, this is the best time to get real answers. Leaving things in the comments, I'll often reply to you. The quality of those replies varies a lot. Like I often sit down and do them in bulk. So like the first couple comment replies is like pretty decent. By the time I get to like the end, because I will like not do it for days and days at a time. Once I get to the end, it's just like you can tell I'm at the end and I'm kind of over it. So again, this is what we talked about here. We'll leave with this one first. This is the Saucony Progrid Omni 9. I don't know what any of that means, but that's what it is. And it's in this nice green and brown and some kind of beige type of colorway, which again matches up kind of like with this. And I almost didn't buy these because they look a little too similar to those gel NYCs. But then I was like, screw it. Let's get them. Why not, right? And now that I have them, I feel like I was a fool for almost doubting it. One thing I just noticed because the light just kind of hit it. Let's see. You just got to keep living, man. That's what it says on the tongue piece. Not the tongue piece, the strap piece. And you can't really see that in there. You just got to keep on living, man. So that's what that says on this one. And this one over here says something else. And it just says living. So this other one just says living. Livin, right? It's all spelled out. Can't quite see it, but just take my word for it. So that's going to be that for the most part. But yeah, this was round 2. This was the Puma Suede, Dazed and Confused. Pretty cool looking. I feel like maybe I should watch the movie now, but I also bought those overpriced not Roddy Piper, but They Live shirts, and I haven't seen that movie either. So got a lot of things to do. Though if you saw the last video, I did actually buy the movie, so I can watch it later. But pretty cool, pretty cool. I'm pretty pleased with how these things are coming out. So good use of my money, at least in my opinion. If you don't like them, that's cool. You don't have to buy them, right? I'm the one who bought them. I'm the one who's wearing them. So that's kind of how that works. Now, I don't see anything else in there except for your average sneaker guy saying these are clean. Thank you very much. Even though I can't quite take any credit at all for that comment, I will because I'm the one talking about them. So that being that, I think we're good here. So from me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, wherever you are. Just a little bit under 15 minutes. I don't think that's too bad. So I'll be catching up with some of you guys later, perhaps, because I do these every so often. I don't have any shoes on the way, but it's one of those things that I just like to do when I do have something to open up and share with the world. So pay attention if you care to see more. If you don't, I mean, I get it, right? Once you've seen one, you've kind of seen them all. So that being that, I do appreciate those of you who stopped in, but please, there's better things to do with your time out there. Go find those things. Later, people. And hello to you, Don White. I see you came in at the very end, but I do want to acknowledge that you're here. So there's that. Hello, Don White. And I hope you have an even better weekend. So there's that for you.